Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So lately I've been seeing this trend where some white folks are out there talking about black fatigue, and I had to pause like, what the hell? Shouldn't the conversation be about white fatigue instead? Because how on earth do you get tired of black people simply existing, standing up for themselves and refusing to be silenced? It's honestly unbelievable. These clips of palm color people complaining about black people this, black people that, like, is black fatigue even a real thing? Or some people just upset that black folks are choosing to be joyful, proud, and unapologetically themselves. At this point, I'm really convinced that palm color folks cannot do without black people. Like, I'm seriously, some white people really don't know what to do with black Americans who refuse to shrink themselves for real. So as always, as usual, I've collected some clips for you guys from TikTok, the reactions by the black community to this black fatigue by white people. I hope that I'm making sense. Yeah, so I've collected some clips for you guys, which we are going to be watching, all of us. And I want you guys to leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'll come back at the end of this video to give my own 2 cents. Let's watch this.
White people have co-opted the word black fatigue to mask racism and say racist and prejudiced tropes about us online. I figured I'd make a video to describe my white fatigue, my white malaise, my white exhaustion. FYP shows you what you're looking for. So if you're saying you're opening TikTok and all you're seeing is brawls and fights of black people, look within. Because why are you searching for us? Why are you monitoring us? You guys have the biggest monitoring spirits of life. If you're so tired of us, just leave us alone. I'm tired of white criminals. White people commit 70% of the crimes and arrests in this country. No such thing as black on black crime. You guys created that to continue to paint us as savages. Meanwhile, you guys are the ones committing all the crime. I'm tired of kids not being safe in school because people are being shot by white boys and girls in school. I'm tired of mass shootings in public places. I'm tired of bombers blowing up races, blowing up buildings. White people killing people. I'm tired of white serial killers. I'm tired of you guys praising white serial killers and then glorifying them by making movies and TV shows. White men committing crime and not going to jail. Stealing money from people's grandparents and stealing money from citizens, and then you give them more and more. I'm tired of you guys causing the conditions for people not to be developed around the world or undeveloped, and then label them as third world countries, second world countries, and then blame them for the reason that they're not developed, even though you're the reason they're not developed. I'm tired of being exposed to food that's been seasoned with air and imagination because these cows and chickens didn't have to die for no reason. I'm tired of Karens not minding their own business, and then when confronted about the business they didn't mind, then they have white tears, which then cause harm to white bodies, which then predicates police brutality, which you guys are the ones that perpetrate. So I'm tired of the fact that your grandparents and your great-grandparents caused the conditions for black people to live in ghettos, black people not to own homes, black people not to have access to education, access to funds and programs, and then blame us for living in the ghetto, and then blame us for the violence that we are subject to, and then blame us for the conditions that we live in. Wow. Story after story of teachers having inappropriate relationships with their teenage students. Tired of the white hoods and KKK and the neo-Nazis, some which just got attacked in Ohio because they felt entitled to be openly racist. Really confused and tired about those rock concerts where you guys go ahead and beat each other up, but we're savages. Very savage, uncouth ghetto behavior. Beating each other up for fun at concerts? Tired of the opioid crisis. I'm tired of white middle-class men who are criminals, who all they care about is the bottom line, and they willingly put drugs into the system which kill kids and which kill college students. Wow. I'm tired of seeing overweight people in my 600-pound life not doing anything with themselves and living off the government. I'm tired of white people being the largest recipients of welfare in this country and DEI programs. I'm tired of the history that you guys created in this country, to the point where my parents are the first people in my family that integrated schools. My parents are the first people in my family that had full rights. Not even my mother. Sorry, my dad was maybe. And you guys acting like it's not real. That's what I'm tired of. Have a beautiful day, white.
There's all this black fatigue and white people shit all over social media. Have you ever seen white people and black people and Spanish people all getting along? Or Indians, or when black people go to that gas station and there's cool ass Indians that are cool as fuck. Or when you vibing off with a Mexican, or you got a country ass white friend that y'all cool with, y'all never have problems. That shit survive. All this other shit, I don't know. That's in y'all world. I don't be getting on all that negative race war that's been going on over the internet. The only time we have a debate is from what we saw on social media. It's y'all y'all bringing that energy over here. I think it's just people from different areas living different lifestyles and a different mindset trying to commentate on what's going on in their life and don't believe what everybody else is realizing in their life. And I honestly feel sorry for y'all. But y'all gotta understand that your reality is not everybody's reality. Like, everybody's reality is different. This is why they see things a different way, because they don't see what y'all see. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's just you're in a different area. White cops has never stopped and harassed me, but I had some black and Mexican cops do that. It's the area. And a lot of it is also what you look like and what you do. Not what your skin color is, but how you dress like and how you behave. My mom and dad taught me that shit. And there's some areas where cops will stop and harass you strictly because of your skin color. Mooresville, Indiana. Check that place.
Black fatigue. This video might make you uncomfortable, but it needs to be made. There's a growing sentiment, most recently, of individuals who are proclaiming they do have black fatigue. And you don't have to be a non-black person to have black fatigue. What does that phrase actually mean? Essentially, black fatigue is a growing weariness of the actions of the quote unquote black community. But it goes deeper than that, because we are in 2025 now, and we are being judged based on the content of our character and not the color of our skin. But the interesting part is, the lie that's been sold to the black community in particular is that the color of our skin dictates the content of our character. That's why in the black community, sometimes you'll hear people say, oh, you are acting white, when they're talking to someone like myself who doesn't act the way most people would expect a conventional black person to act. In their minds, there is a correct way to act black. And the people in your ethnic group who fulfill those very negative stereotypes, those are the ones who are going to essentially drag down the collective whole. And that's why there's individuals who are black who do and can have black fatigue, because they see how damaging it is to see the worst of us attract all this negative attention that then unfortunately gets ascribed to the entire race all too often. But what's unfortunate is, here in 2025, now we have to contend with the fact that there's people who are so sick and tired of seeing those negative aspects, those negative individuals in the black community attracting all this attention. That's what is spurring this black fatigue. I think it's something that needs to be talked about. And until we turn inward and address the issues in our own communities, I fear that this is only going to continue and get worse. And that's exactly what the powers that be want. They want to have us against each other instead of us against those who are really pulling the strings in the background.
Ladies and gentlemen, the definition of white fatigue. Since you white racist people want to talk about black fatigue, I got white fatigue. White fatigue number one, you in the line in Starbucks knowing you ain't paid for an extra shot of espresso, but because you say you patronize the store all the time, they should just give it to you because you work so hard, you've had a stressful day. No ma'am. White fatigue, you in the middle of fucking Walmart, somebody is not going fast enough. You say it's because they don't know what they're doing, they're incompetent, and maybe they need to get a supervisor. No, it's maybe you need to stop acting like you got white privilege and thinking that the world is supposed to move faster than it actually rotates in 24 hours to accommodate you. White fatigue.
Y'all, why I'm about to have to cuss the school out? So I was gonna pick up my son from school, and y'all know when you sit in a little line, the teachers normally come out. I know in our district, they come out and they look at the little tag on the card, and then they call the kids out, right? In the midst of it, while we waiting on my son, the teacher go, yeah, we had a little incident with another kid, and he made racial slurs to Kaden. Huh? And the teacher is brown. And she said she even had to step out the classroom because she was so disturbed. So I get my son in the car and I go, what happened? He tells me that a palm-colored kid called him a black monkey and said he was blacker than black. Fuck would you see? Hey, get y'all little pale colored kids.
Here are 50 things that have given me white fatigue, and the list could go on, but here are just 50. Karen's calling the police on black people for just existing, mass shooters being described as troubled young men, cultural appropriation without any appreciation, white people in locks talking about spirituality, all lives matter, I don't see color, white creators becoming famous for watered down versions of black culture, profiting off of black trauma on social media, weaponizing white tears, white savior complexes in real life and movies. I have a black friend as a get out of racism free card, white teachers punishing black students for being disruptive, gentrification marked as urban revitalization, being followed in grocery stores like you don't belong, police called because someone looks suspicious, white-led DEI training with no actual change, white people going viral for dances black people made, why is it always about race with you, the obsession with controlling black hair, the criminalization of AAVE in schools and work, centering whiteness in conversations that aren't about them, singing the N-word because it's just a lyric, the legacy of colonization and pretending it's ancient history, slavery being taught as a necessary evil, internment camps being brushed over, in history class the Trail of Tears being summarized in a paragraph, mass incarceration of black and brown people, Confederate flags being called heritage, get over it, it was a long time ago, white people crying in HR and getting people fired, white tears when equity feels like a loss of power, denying white privilege when benefiting from it, whitewash media stories, white-run nonprofits helping black communities while not listening, demanding emotional labor while doing none themselves, wearing blackface as a joke, screaming reverse racism like it's real, appropriating AAVE, using it wrong, watching black playing like it's a Netflix genre, MLK quotes using to shame black protests, demanding calm from oppressed people while being violent, policing tone instead of hearing truth, stolen land turned into suburbs and golf courses, white men running diversity campaigns, asking can I touch your hair like it's normal, white people calling things ghetto while profiting from the aesthetic, voting for oppression and acting shocked by the results when everyone fucking told you so, posting black squares thinking that that's activism, not all white people when no one gaffs, and thinking black fatigue is about you.
White people attempting to rebrand white rage by co-opting the term black fatigue as though it's a phenomena they actually experience but only recently found the language to talk about is both dystopianly weird and tragically on brand. The copying, the whitewashing, the centering themselves by playing victim. But what's ironically telling about it is that the concept of racial battle fatigue is not new. It's been around for decades. And the term black fatigue has been used by black people for quite a while. Mary Frances Winters wrote a book that came out in 2020 titled Black Fatigue, and it describes the mental, emotional, and physical exhaustion that black people experience because of systemic racism. Now, notice how black people didn't call that white fatigue, because the purpose is not to assign blame in order to justify bad behavior. It is called black fatigue because it is a harm that black people experience, and so their focus is on addressing and combating that harm. Whereas when white people talk about experiencing black fatigue, they are not talking about a harm that they experience because of black people or anybody else. They are literally telling on their own inability to live in society with black people. And that's not new either. That's a pathology that has existed for hundreds of years, but call it what it is, white rage.
I just wanted to weigh in on this black fatigue trend that's going around. It's really interesting to me. I have a PhD in secondary education with a concentration in social justice. And so this definitely caught my attention. Just to define, black fatigue is about the emotional, physical, and mental strain put on black people due to racism and systemic oppression. It is not about you being tired of black people. Okay, that's first. I really wish racist white people would make their own terms. Stop hijacking established theories and terms that are out here. Black fatigue, critical race theory, black feminist thought. All of these different terms have definitions made by black people or people who are researching the black culture. So please stop. Stop. Let's make your own term. I'm going to help you. White fatigue. The mental and emotional strain of white people not being able to be freely racist and privileged. There you go. So let's start that. White fatigue. That's for you. That's about you. So let's use that term and let's allow black fatigue to remain the way it is with the existing definition. So there you go. Hashtag white fatigue. The inability for white people to be racist on demand. Emotionally and mentally straining to those who deserve to be racist when they feel free to. You're welcome.
Black fatigue, she said. Let me tell y'all about my white fatigue. The white girl culture vultures, quote unquote Viking braids or Viking dreads, how they are quick to say that black people are criminals, but aren't their ancestors the ones that used to literally hang people from trees? Aren't white people the same ones that go to schools to pow pow? They hate government assistance, but they make up 60%. Motherfuckers named Brad or Chad, smelling like dog, getting out the water hair looking like pasta noodles, wet pasta noodles. Hate Hispanics or Mexicans but love trips to Mexico and celebrating Cinco de Mayo and Taco Tuesday. And most importantly, hating black people so much but always bringing us up. God.
Listen to these white people talk about black fatigue makes me really just want to punch them in the face. You want to talk about fatigue? Let's talk about white fatigue. Let's talk about the fact that white people have killed more people on this planet than any other group of people in history. That's a fact. White people have killed more people for no other reason than the fact that the people that they were killing weren't white than any other group of people on this planet. You want to talk about fatigue? Let's talk about white fatigue. Let's talk about the fact that 1% of the population owns half of the wealth in the world, and most of them are white. Well, that's a coincidence. Let's talk about the fact that here in America, white people have ran this fucking place since the 1700s, and they have fucked up everything. Everything. The entire planet's fucking climate is going to shit to the point to where we are going to unalive ourselves as a species because of fucking white people. You want to talk about fatigue? I'm white and I'm fucking tired of white people.
It's not racist, and I know y'all have been told this is racist, but it's not. It's not racist to call black people out for their behavior and what they're doing to society at this moment. I'm glad people are noticing this because it's been so many years and it's finally catching up to y'all. I've been trying to tell y'all that white people are tired of y'all. I'm tired of y'all too, but everybody, the world is getting sick of y'all and y'all's bullshit. I'm so glad this day is here. I've been trying to get out there that you people need help. Not just me, but me and other black conservatives. We've been trying to warn society that this is what it's going to come to when y'all keep coddling black people. They're going to see themselves as higher ups. They're going to see themselves as untouchable because the world wants to not be racist towards them.
So I'm hearing this shit about black fatigue where white people is tired of niggas. Listen, you bitches ain't, well, I'm sure that's some shit racist white people came up with, but listen, you bitches don't mean shit to me. Bitch, I wouldn't give a fuck what you was tired of. Motherfucker, my ancestors was tired on a motherfucking plantation and getting knocked upside the head and shit. Bitch, I don't give a fuck about none of that. None of that, bitch. You can be tired of me all you motherfucking want. Fuck all you motherfucking racist bitches. The fuck? I don't give a fuck that. Blackfoot, bitch, I'm tired of you too, bitch. I'm tired of you too.
Okay, so let's talk about this. After watching those clips, I think we can all agree that this whole concept of black fatigue is not only absurd, it's deeply offensive. Let's really sit with this for a second. So like one of the brothers said in one of the clip we just watched, if white folks are tired of black people, just leave us alone. Leave them alone. It's that simple. No long speech, okay? If you're really that tired of hearing black people speak up, stand to and demand respect and exist in their fullness, then step back. Because what you're not going to do is create this imaginary narrative that black people are somehow exhausting or overwhelming to deal with just because they've decided that they're not going to take disrespect anymore. So let's talk about black fatigue. By definition, they're describing it as some growing wariness or frustration with the behavior of black people. Supposedly, too loud, too sensitive, too political, too proud. But let's be real. What exactly have black people done to cause this fatigue? What specific actions have they taken that deserve this label? Because when I check history, when I actually look at the full timeline, this idea does not line up. Like it's not adding up. It's not black people who have oppressed, enslaved, colonized, and systemically marginalized others for generations. It's not black people who created laws to deny basic rights to entire groups of people. It's not black people who built a generational wealth off the backs of others suffering. So the question becomes, what exactly are white people tired of? Let me tell you what is really going on here. What's actually pissing them off is what's making them uncomfortable is that black people are no longer shrinking. They're no longer staying quiet. They're no longer accepting disrespect or pretending like they're okay with being treated as second-hand class citizens. They're standing up, they're speaking the truth, and they're taking up space unapologetically. And guess what? That makes some people uncomfortable because they're not used to that idea. They've never had to sit with the reality of a black community that isn't begging for acceptance or instead demanding justice and living joyful in their own skin. That's why they are calling it black fatigue. But let's be honest, that's not fatigue. That's entitlement being challenged. Yeah, how about that? Because what they're really tired of is losing the monopoly of power. They're not tired of being able to control the narrative. They're tired of being called out on racism, cultural appropriation, microaggression, and straight-up violence. They're tired of seeing black people thrive in business, music, politics, culture. They're tired of black joy, black excellence, and black resistance, and black resilience. And to that I say, too bad. You don't get to be the problem and play the victim. You don't get to fatigue yourself from a situation you created and continue to benefit from. And you definitely don't get to silence black people because you're uncomfortable with us finally finding our voices. This whole black fatigue narrative is just a new way to repackage white fragility. That's really all it is. It's a way for some white folks to say, I'm tired of feeling guilt, I'm tired of hearing about racism, I'm tired of being called out, I'm tired of being held accountable. But this is the truth. Accountability is not oppression. Being asked to do better is not discrimination. Being asked to treat people like human beings is not an attack. So no, black people are not going to stop calling these things out. They're not going to stop making noise. They're not going to stop advocating for their communities. And if that bothers you, if black people's pride, their beauty, their strength, or their truth makes you uncomfortable, maybe you should be asking why you're uncomfortable in the first place, because the problem isn't black people. You weren't tired when they were being brutalized. You weren't tired when they were begging for justice. You weren't tired when they were marching, protesting, and organizing, educating. But now that they've found confidence, now that they're walking with their heads held high and not asking for permissions to exist, you are suddenly drained. No, we're not going to do that. The truth is that black people are tired. We are tired of having to explain ourselves. We're tired of dealing with injustice. We are tired of constantly having to navigate systems that were never built for us. But we don't hear black people weaponizing that fatigue to silence others. Instead, they keep pushing, they keep showing up, they keep building. So the next time you hear someone say black fatigue, I want you to remember this. What they're really upset about isn't black people at all. It's about the power dynamic shifting, and they're not ready for that. And guess what? We don't care. Black people don't care, because black people are not shrinking. They're not apologizing, and they're definitely not backing down. So I'll end by saying this to all my black brothers and sisters watching. Keep your heads up, keep being unapologetically you. Your existence, your strength, your joy, they're acts of resistance. You don't need to be less. You don't need to fit into their comfort zone. Yeah, and with that being said, you guys, if you've reached watching this video up to this time, please make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe, turn on that notification bell, so that every time I upload such videos, guys, you'll be notified. I'll definitely see you in my next video. Please stay peaceful.